Hey guys, welcome to the Entrefluential Life podcast. This is our premiere edition. My name is John Tanner and I'm your host. And I'm going to be joined tonight by my co-host and my son, Sebastian Tanner. He is going to log in just a few minutes here. I had to jump on my cell phone to turn on this program because I was having some technical difficulties with my computer. And so I just jumped on here so that we could get started because we're already 11 minutes behind schedule and we don't want that, right? So we got to keep moving forward. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to reboot my computer while we're waiting for Sebastian to join us. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to give you a little bit of background information on, there's Sebastian, the stream here. Hey,
Hello.
Sebastian,
Hello,
how you
hello.
doing?
Good, how are you?
Fantastic. Hey, man, I'm so glad you're here. And hopefully we're going to have some of our friends join us pretty soon. Um, in either in StreamYard or through YouTube. But man, we had some technical difficulties, and I just gave an introduction to myself. I just said hi and introduced people to the new podcast and to let them know that this is a premiere
Nice.
edition. And so I'm going to go ahead and continue on with that introduction. And
All right.
so the intention behind creating this podcast, it's a Christian lifestyle coaching and business development series that helps aspiring entrepreneurs learn some business skills that can influentially grow your business, that can help you grab entrepreneurship skills and influential skills, which means that you can expand and amplify your brand so that you can be more productive in your business. And then the Christian side of it is there's so much stuff that's being taught out there that has a secular worldview, and we bring our lessons with a Christian worldview. So we add a biblical verse to every session that we do. We're going to be here every Tuesday at 7:30, from 7:30 to about 8:30, and we may cut a little short sometimes, when we go a little bit longer sometimes. But about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour is about the typical time that we're going to have. And so one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to bring a little bit of physical, mental, and spiritual wellness to you guys through each episode. And so that's how we've structured this program. And the guests that we have lined up are amazing. We've got attorneys, we have a former football player, business professionals from all over around the United States, and hopefully, and I even have a successful real estate broker in France who's going to join us as well and talk about the French Riviera and what's going on over there. So there's a lot of great content that we're going to be sharing. And so while I'm restarting my computer, Sebastian, let's hear from you.
You can hear me, right?
Yes, yes.
So an introductory to myself.
Yeah, yeah, yep. Let them know, how are you an entrepreneur? What are you doing right now in your life as an entrepreneur? And why is this being in this program important to you? How do you want to give back?
Um, yeah, so basically for me to be an entrepreneur right now, I have a clothing brand that I'm trying to have a big world impact with. And we can get more into that later. I don't want to say too much right now, but basically I'm just trying to change a stigma out there with this clothing brand that I have created. And while I'm building that business up, I am studying to become a certified personal trainer so I can get a job at a gym somewhere. And uh, I give back that way because it not only do I love to be at the gym, and it's something that I found that I'm passionate for, and it makes me happy to be there. I don't feel like I'm working, studying all the little minor details when it comes to fitness and everything with it. It makes me happy, and I also can give back by helping other people become more happy with themselves and their bodies and their self esteem, because I know what it's like to not feel comfortable in your own skin, and so I want to help more people learn how to do that and have the courage to believe in themselves. And I want to do more than just be an average trainer that there is out there. Most of them don't really care about people's improvement. And for me, I want to be specific about my goals as a trainer and the people that I want to have as my clients. I'll, of course, take anyone, but I want to do something more than just what's out there right now. I want to be able to provide more.
Outstanding. Awesome. Good. So it's all about giving back. I mean, that's just the reason why we created this podcast, the Entrefluential Life. We take entrepreneurship and influence, and we enhance people's lives. This
Yes.
is a way for us to serve as Christians. We have a calling to serve others, And so we created, when we started talking about putting this podcast together, we were both very excited about it, right? Because
Yes.
we saw it as a great opportunity to serve in a modern way to our modern world, right? To reach others and share the light that we have inside of us to them so that they can go ahead and do the same thing too and be a light to others as well.
Yes, exactly. And doing this is a way that it gives people the option to do it, where it gives them the option to, if they want to keep tuning into every episode and keep learning more and seek more information, just as we are, um, they can do the same thing. And you can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make it drink. So right now, this podcast is where we're creating a pond, a big lake, a big ocean for people to come in and seep in the information and learn with us at the same time.
Outstanding. Nicely said, Sebastian. That's outstanding. So one of the things that I have is I've created as a list of questions that we're going to be asking the people that we interview on our show. And so I would like to go ahead and ask some of these questions to you, Sebastian, so that people can get to know you and me first before we dive into asking our audience these questions, right?
Of
So that people
course.
can get to know us better. Yeah.
Sounds
Okay,
good.
cool. So awesome. So I did have it up on and I built these on Canva, right? I made it nice and pretty, and then I had to change computers here, so I have to reopen it here. So just give me a second while I look for it. But
All right.
while I'm doing that, I always like to start with a Bible verse, and the one that I'm going to start with today is dream. It's about dreaming, right? And so here's a message from Dr. David Jeremiah. He's one of the pastors that I follow in he's in Shadow Mountain Church in San Diego, California. And here's a message that he has about dream, right? So this will feed our physical, mental, spiritual. This will feed our spiritual side, right? Our spiritual component of our being. We can cultivate a dream for our lives that outlasts the world, transforms time, changes eternity, and advances his cause and his kingdom for his glory. So what I take away from that is we need to dream big. Yeah.
Yes.
And be kingdom minded. Like, let's do some big things as entrepreneurs, and let's
Yes.
have a kingdom mindset as we do it. Yeah. So we can leave a legacy behind. And the people that we impact on this earth, I am looking forward to meeting when we get to heaven, when we're on the other side of this. All the people that we impact, hopefully we're going to have some fantastic conversations with them for the things that we're doing, right? And it
Yeah.
all starts with dreaming big. Now, here's the Bible verse. It comes from Psalm 37:4. Delight yourself also in the Lord, and he shall give you the desires of your heart. Wow. God is
Yeah.
interested in the desires of your heart. He says, if you delight yourself in the Lord, that means you follow his righteousness, right? You follow the things that he says are honorable, noble, right? And then he will give you the desires of your heart. Now, of course, I would say that there's a caveat to that. Hopefully, the desires of your heart, if you're following him, is righteousness, things that are good and not things that are bad, right? So as long as
Yeah.
you're wishing for good things, he will give you those good things,
Yes, exactly.
right?
Operating at
That's
a higher frequency in a way.
a
That's
100%,
to
right?
receive those good things, you have to not ask for it, but
Well, you do. It says the Bible
be
says,
willing
"Ask
to
and you shall
openly
receive."
receive it. I think I think so, yes, but I think it can be specific because I can ask for anything. I can ask for $1,000,000. God's not going to give me $1,000,000 though. I think we have to be clear about what we ask for and
I
how
th-
we ask.
yeah, I think more importantly, because you can ask for $1,000,000, you can ask for $100,000. You can say, if it's in your will to let me have that, then he's more inclined to do it, right? If it's in your will, because we want to be walking in
Right,
alignment with his
right,
will. So,
right.
like, hey, this is what I want. If you think that it works for me, would you allow this to
Yes,
happen?
yes,
You know what I mean? And then sometimes it's not that he doesn't answer that question right now, but maybe he's going to answer it in 10 years from now or a year from now, so that it works better into the grand scheme of things, right? Which
yeah,
he sees the future, we don't. So what happens though is when you look backwards, you're like, oh, I see why that worked out that way.
right, right. It was all part of the plan.
All right. So when we were going through this run through this practice that we were talking about doing before, the first question that I asked you is, what does your morning routine look like? Can you tell us what that looks like?
Currently, my morning routine is a little bit sporadic because I try to keep it more in line as the days go by. I try to improve every single day and take it one day at a time. But right now, I like to wake up, and read for a little bit. I like to read for at least 10 minutes a day. I tend to get into it for a little bit longer when I can. So I like to start off by reading, have a nice breakfast. You know, the most important meal of the day is really important what you have then. So I try to be as productive as I can. I try to clean up if anything's messy in the morning. I don't do it every day because I'm not perfect, and sometimes I get lazy.
Yeah,
But I
sure. Who
try to do
doesn't,
my
right?
best to just wake up and make sure that everything's aligned, everything is good, everything's in check, and then I'll read my book. I'll study for a little bit on my flashcards on my phone for the certification exam, and just try to basically get myself ready for the day. Maybe a little bit of meditation, and just align myself with my thoughts for what intentions I have to do with each new day.
Awesome. Awesome. So you start off with reading, doing some reading and getting your mind right. Great. And um, okay, I'm going to come in here as on the computer here. Can you hear me okay on this one?
Yes.
Great. Okay. Excellent. I got the computer working again. So I'm going to log out here. Okay.
All right.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Perfect. Okay. So the morning routines are very important. Do you do exercise in the morning or do you do your exercises in the afternoon?
Yeah, so I it's been varying a little bit, but what I am gonna start doing every day now, and what I usually try to do is I try to do some cardio in the morning. And my mother's actually a trainer and a nutritionist, so she knows a lot more when it comes to the gym than I do. And so she tells me the first hour of your day is the most important. You're either gonna work out the first hour and do your fasted cardio if that's what you want to do, or if you don't, you got to eat your first meal because that's when the body processes start going and everything like that. So I try to go and I like to go for a run in the morning. That's how I like to start my day. And afterwards, you know, it makes me feel a lot more productive, more awake. And so I like to do cardio in the morning, and then I like to do weights in the afternoon.
Nice. So cardio in the morning and weights in there. So you work out 2 times a day. But now your business is personal fitness, so that makes perfect sense that you would do that. And
Right.
and so my morning routine is similar to that too. So I wake up in the morning and I do meditation. I look at my business notes. I listen to some Tibetan bowl singing, which helps me to, just get into the right frame of mind when I'm meditating and doing positive affirmations. I think positive affirmations are very, very important. Did you know that like about approximately 70% of Americans suffer from low self-esteem?
Wow, I did not know that, but it makes sense. I would believe it. It's a very serious problem that I think people don't put enough awareness on the mental health aspect of our life, and so I think we get caught up focusing on material things, on what kind of phone we have, what kind of car we have, what clothes am I wearing, how do people look at me, and what do they think when they see me, and we don't really focus too much on how we feel inside, and sometimes the things that we do to please other people damages us on the inside, and we it's not fair to them or to us, and so we have to really find that sense of self-respect to learn how to respect ourselves and how we feel on the inside, and take care of our brain because that's our most important muscle in our body.
100%. I agree. So there's positive affirmations. Like I read this book called The Official Guide to Success by Tom Hopkins about 2005. And he has these positive affirmations in the book throughout the book. And then at the end, he's got like a catalog of over 100 affirmations. So I started using these
Wow.
affirmations back in 2005, right? So, fast forward to 2022, it's been, quite a long time already and going on 20 years. And I've added to my affirmations. Like I put those aside, then I found some new affirmations And these are things that I look at. I have them on my phone, and I have a reminder set for every morning for me to look at those. So what I would like to do is share some of those positive affirmations with the audience. I'm going to go through 15
Sure.
positive affirmations. And so when we talk about feeding your physical, your mental, and your spiritual components of who you are, right? It's like the triangle. Then so we started with the spiritual. Now we're going to feed the mental. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So let me look at my notes here and get to those. Oh, I know what I can do. I can just look at my phone. Okay, they're right here. All right. So I also have daily Christian affirmations. I have 15 of those. I'll be sharing those on another episode too, because I think those are very important. And I also have the HP 6+7, which is the six high performance habits from Brendan Burchard, mixed in with the 7 habits of highly effective people. And I start my morning with that because it's specifically caters to my business and my goals, my personal goals, right? Professional and
Right.
personal goals. So those 15 self-esteem affirmations, I got this from a variety of different sources, but I'm going to go ahead and read them from my phone here. Number 1, I add quality and value to my life and to the lives of others. Number 2, I do what makes me feel alive. Number 3, I enjoy spending time in quiet places. Number 4, I have the courage to map out my own life. Number 5, I believe in myself, even when no one else does. Number 6, I am gifted in unique ways. Number 7, I feel accepted and loved. Number 8, I am independent. Number 9, I accept myself completely. Number 10, I embrace myself fully and joyfully. Number 11, I am superior to my old self. Number 12, I never underestimate my abilities. Number 13, I embrace self-acceptance. Number 14, I have the right mental attitude for success. And number 15, I enjoy helping other people. Hey, did you read Atomic Habits recently?
I don't believe so.
Oh, okay. So I came across it somewhere, and I was talking to somebody today that was telling me about that book being so fantastic. Well, here's the thing: habits, right? Take 28 days to sink in, right? You have to do them for
Yeah.
28 days for them to become second nature, right? And you have to give yourself a reward to record it positively so that you're excited about doing those habits, right? So you should make bad habits hard to do and good habits very easy to do and
Yeah.
rewarding. And do it for at least 28 days so it becomes second nature. These positive affirmations, if you do them consistently time and time again on a daily basis, make it your morning routine, for instance, it's better to start the day off very positive and optimistic, right? So
Right.
the morning is a good time to do that. If you continue to do that, what happens is your conscious activity records the information into your subconscious mind. And when it's
Yes.
recorded in your subconscious mind, then you start living it out on a daily basis, which is the goal, right?
Yes. Exactly.
Right? Is to put it into action where you don't even think about it. Like when you walk, you talk, you chew gum, you breathe without thinking about it, right? You just
Yeah.
breathing. I mean, sometimes you slow down and you focus on your breathing. Yeah. And when you're meditating, for instance, right? And that's really important because sometimes you catch yourself holding your breath, and that's where
Yes.
anxiety builds up inside of you. But the point is that your breathing is controlled by the reptilian brain or the prefrontal lobe, and it's an automatic thing, right? It's just happening. Or maybe it's the mid part of the brain that does it. So one of those two is it's just
Mhm.
automatic pilot.
Yeah.
And so you want to live out these affirmations on automatic pilot. You want it to be programmed in
Yes.
your
Yes.
subconscious mind. Okay.
Exactly.
So, all right. So that's cool. Now, one of the physical things that you do is you hit the gym and you're doing your cardio and you're doing your weights and you are a personal trainer in training, right?
Right.
And you're the audience doesn't know this, but your mom is a personal trainer, right? Is she still doing that?
Yes, she still has her business going with that. Yep.
Outstanding. Awesome. So you grew up, and Giselle and Rick have been in the gym for forever. And so
Yeah.
you grew up watching both sides of your family be active in the gym, right? Because you've gone to the gym with me many, many times, right? LA
Yeah.
Fitness. So you grew up with that, and that's fantastic. And now you've decided to take on becoming a personal trainer and helping people out. And I mean, I love that so much about you. I'm so proud of you that you're doing that.
Thank you. Thank
It's really awesome. And man, when I see pictures of you and you're like your growth, it's like, wow, look at this guy. He's killing it.
you.
It's freaking awesome, man. You're my inspiration. And
Thank you.
it's so like sometimes I'm at the gym, I'm like, I need to work out a little harder because Sebastian will work out harder. I can't have him being like, I can't have you looking like Wolverine and I'm looking like Beetle Bailey over here.
Oh my God. You have to turn into Wolverine and Logan.
Yeah,
Old
yeah, yeah.
Wolverine. You gotta be Wolverine's father.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so cool, man. Hugh he's got a good physique, man. So going to the physical side, what I wanted to say was that I started doing Tai Chi and Qigong, and those are martial arts, but they also have medicinal purposes, and they align your physical and your mental and your spiritual wellness, right? So they talk about the energy being around us in our environment, right, on Earth. There's earth energy, and then you have energy inside your body, right? And we know that's a fact. Like, you've been shocked, you touch something
Yeah.
and you get static electricity, you're like, phew. But so we feel this, or you get the tingling in your body.
We are energy.
We are,
Energy
yeah.
flowing around us, like in Star Wars, they call it the Force.
The force,
It really is real.
it's real, and it's God. All of it's God's
Yes,
creation, right? He
we
holds
are everything.
everything.
We
He
are.
holds.
It's like we're all each other. I'm you, you're me.
We're all connected.
Yes, exactly.
We're all connected, right? It's like we hold ideas. It's like we're all an idea created in the mind of God. That's
And
how
we
I
couldn't have
visualize
had
it.
the idea if it didn't already exist.
Right. It's so everything is the past, the present, the future. It's all done. It's
Yes.
already been created. It's already lived out, and then we're living it out.
Yep.
The point is that we need to have alignment, just like God is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. He's the past, the present, and the future, and we need to be in alignment, like a trilogy as well. So
Yeah.
our trilogy, we have our body, our mind, and then our soul, right? And then we need to also have our physical, our mental, and our spiritual wellness, right? We need to have alignment. Everything needs to be in balance, right?
Yes.
And when you're operating out of balance, and most people are, one of the things that shocked me, and another reason why I'm really glad that we're doing this for the young people, is that they are bombarded with content, right? From the
Yeah.
time you wake up, you put you open up your phone and you start scrolling through Facebook, and you've got points of view, right? Perceptual views from other people.
Yes.
You have advertising, Facebook advertising. People are marketing to you on the phone,
Yep.
right? Especially the young demographic. They're going after those people,
Yeah.
right? As an audience. That's their target audience. Big part. And like 18 to 29. That's, I think, the marketer's, goal, right? Primary goal. And then you get you get off your phone or whatever, you go take a shower, you do whatever your thing, and you're watching TV, you're watching the news or whatever, you're bombarded with more content, right? The news is talking about, you put on the news and you hear about somebody got shot on the west side and blah blah blah. It's all of this negative stuff that's being fed to your brain, right? And then you're absorbing all of this content. You're already out of balance. Okay, and you haven't even left the house to go to school or to work for the day, right? Then you get over there, and then you have interactions with a whole bunch of other people and a whole bunch of other content, and then you get out of that, and you're listening to music, by the way, on the way there or on the way back. That music could be either positive information or negative information that you're putting into your brain. Then you get out of that. If you've been listening to some high energy music, some hostile type action based music, you're kind of you have like a chip on your shoulder, right? And this is why we have road rage, because people are it looks like they're getting prepared to go into a fight, and they're just they're just in their car driving to go home at the end of the day, from work, right? And so who knows what they experienced at work, but my point is this: like, how
It
much stuff
affects
have we
us.
just
It affects us.
compiled in such a short period of time? And this is every single day, all day long, and nobody takes a break. Nobody turns everything off to decompress, right? I mean, some people do, but the majority of people don't, right?
Yeah.
So how are you going to put your body, number one, in alignment, physical, mental, and spiritual alignment, number one, and then how are you going to start putting a barrier up to channel the information that you're letting in? Because how can you be productive as an entrepreneur and as a Christian, right? Because this is our target audience. We want people to walk the Christian path, right? To walk the Christian life. How are you going to be a good role model to others, right? Because really, look. It's one thing. There's people that are meant to go out there and share the gospel, and their task is to evangelize. But we are all called to be role models, right?
Yeah.
And that means to live a good life, to live a proper life, and to not be doing bad things, right? Chasing those bad things, like take off there's a Bible verse that says, "Take off your old clothes, don't put on those old clothes." You're a new person in Christ. Walk in that new
Yeah.
path, right? And then and that pathway is a process of sanctification. So as we grow towards the end of our days on earth, and we get to heaven, we're processing to be more like God Himself, right? That's
Right.
sanctification. We're supposed to be saint light, so we're supposed to be light. Okay, so in in that pathway, in that process, we are genetically wired to be entrepreneurs, and this
Yes.
is just a fact, right? Some people, if you're displaced, like if you're meant to be an entrepreneur and you're working at a job, you're probably miserable because it's a
Yeah.
wrong fit, right? It's
Right.
like putting a puzzle together and you got the wrong piece and you're trying to stick it in this slot right there, but it's the wrong piece. It doesn't fit. Well, your body's telling you that you're in the wrong piece, the wrong location, because you're an entrepreneur. So you need to go where the puzzle pieces of entrepreneurs are, right?
Yeah.
You know, so
Exactly.
know thyself. There's a Bible verse that says know thyself. I think it also comes from Greek philosophy. Know thyself, right? Is one of the most important things that you can do. Yeah.
Yes, I
So
agree.
all right. So anyways, the whole point is all of that. There's just so much negative content. We got to go back to self-esteem. We've got to feed our physical exercise, like you're doing, like I'm doing. Mental is positive affirmations, and then spiritual. Read some Bible verses that educate you on how to know God and what His path is like for us, and that way you can walk in alignment, and then also you'll naturally do good for others if you're doing that, right? You'll do good for yourself and you'll do good for others, right? If you're walking in spiritual alignment. So feed those three. Okay, so we covered, this is what the premise of our content is here. Let's go back to my questions here, okay? Because I want to dig in a little bit more to let people know more about you. So one of the next questions that I have on our interview sheet is, what are three books that you recommend to our audience? Do you remember this question, Sebastian?
I do remember this question.
Okay, great. So what are three books that you recommend to our audience and why?
Yeah, so the first book is called The Voice of Knowledge by Don Miguel Ruiz. And I would recommend this book because I think that there's a lot of information out there in the world that's, like you said, is being brought to us. And so of course, not every single thing that we hear can be taken for truth, because people, there's a lot of fake news out there. There's a lot of fake things. And so I feel like as people, we can try to learn the right information. And so I think this book has some pieces of it that can help us do so. And so I think it helps with our mentality, with our mindset. And I think everyone will interpret the book differently, because I think we all think a different way. Not everybody thinks the same. And so what I might get from the book, somebody else might see a little bit different. But the whole goal that everyone can take away from that book is that we all have the power to change our mindset, and you can wake up one day and be a new person if you want to. And so we set limits on ourselves, and the people around us do so as well, because they're expecting you to be one way, because, well, they're the main character in their story, and the book kind of tells you like your life is your story. And
Mhm.
so anyone else that's feeling a certain type of way towards you, or they want you to be a certain way, is because they just perceive you from how they've learned life, and you don't know everything that they've been through, their experiences that causes them to think a certain way. And so when you realize that, it kind of brings a peace of mind to yourself to not worry too much about what others think of you, and more so what you think of yourself and your
Mm.
self-worth. And so it really puts things into perspective of um, your mentality, thinking about your relationships that you have with other people. And he tells you to, essentially believe in yourself, and that not everything that you've heard is true, because you have the little prince inside of your head. There's this another term for it, but it's also called the voice of knowledge. It's our thoughts. Sometimes we have thoughts that come into our mind that is not our own thought. We have negativity, like, oh, you don't look good in that shirt. You don't look good enough to ask that girl out or to ask that guy out on a date. We say like we're not where we want to be. We basically tell ourselves negative things and we believe it. And so it helps us change, just like how you were talking about using positive affirmations every single day. He tells you in a different way to do that, and to change your thought processes, and it'll help change your external environment. And being the main character in our story, we're not just that, we're also the main characters, we're the extra, we're the producer, we're the director, we're everything. And so we can wake up tomorrow and be a better person if we want to.
Nice.
And
Nice.
the second book is it's called "You Are a Badass at Making Money" by Jen Sincero, and it's a very powerful book. She packs a punch with her words, and she also it's that book is also about your mindset. It's there's a pattern with these books that I read. It's all about the mentality that we have, and she basically her book boils down to, we view money a certain way because that's how we've grown up, and we've seen how our parents have viewed money and how our friends have viewed money and the relationships that everybody has. Some people say money is evil, some people say money is good. Money is nothing. It's none of those. Money is money. It's a currency. It's energy. It moves around. It comes. It goes. That's how it's supposed to go. And she kind of shows you that money is just a tool to get things that you want done. So when we have bad thoughts about money and how we can't make any money, we can't make any more money because of this, because of that, any limitations that we're putting on ourselves, it's us operating at a low frequency, having low frequency thoughts, having low frequency intentions and desires. And she says basically when you clear your mind, you get clear on your intentions, on your desires, what you want to do with that money, how can you help somebody else with the money, just to get very specific with it, and change the way that you view money and change the way that you view the world in a way, going right back to the mentality thing, to tell yourself positive affirmations every day, to realize that your words have power because it's energy that you're putting out there. So when we say the negative things on us, we can't make money, we're not going to make any more money if we're going to keep telling ourselves we're not going to. And so she says it takes time. Um, you got on a daily basis, tell yourself positive affirmations and tell yourself that you're going to open yourself to receive whatever is going to come to you, whatever new opportunities that you might not have thought was your way to get successful. You got to be open to the new possibilities.
Outstanding. I love it. The first book that you were talking about, there was a couple of things that struck a chord in my mind. One of them was schemas. Schemas is what we call those recordings in your brain that tell you what you think is going to happen. It's like prejudgment. Those are
Yes.
schemas. And the second thing was the reactive mind. So the reactive mind is those negative thoughts that are trying to protect you. It's the reptilian brain saying, "Oh, no, don't go do that. You're going to get in trouble. You're going to get hurt. Blah blah blah." It doesn't want you to change the status quo. It's trying to
Right.
maintain the status quo, and you
Right.
have to reprogram your reactive mind and have it to stop and say, listen, we're going to think with our logical brain, not our emotional brain, right?
Exactly.
Right. So that's really awesome, man. That's great content. What was the third book? I think you covered two.
Yeah, and so the third book is called Think Again. I'm not sure who the author is. I have yet to start it because I just finished the second book, but
Oh,
I've taken a little preview of it. I've skimmed it a little bit,
okay.
first couple pages, and I read the back and looked it up. And finding what I found on that book so far is that just like in the title, it says to think again, and so it's just another book about our mindset, and it's a different kind because we have our initial reaction that's emotional to whatever happens, whatever information we receive. We have our reaction at first, and so most people, including myself, I'm still working on it. I try not to react immediately. We all have to learn how to think again and really think about what we were going to say and get control of our emotions in that moment and start to think with logic rather than just our emotion. And
Hmm.
basically, he says that it's not a power that anyone special can have. He says that this is something that we can all do. We can all learn how to have more control of our mind and our mentality, and have more control over our thoughts to recognize our first thought and to think again and have a new perspective. And our perspective shapes our reality. So our situation is only going to be as bad as we allow it to be. And we can either pity ourselves or we can do something positive and change our perspective and think again about how we initially felt in any given situation, and we can have a new mindset, and then eventually and hopefully it'll become muscle memory. And so anytime you have a negative thought or anything like that, you can realize that it's natural to have those thoughts, but to start getting more power over your thoughts and your emotions.
I love it. I love this concept of think again. And the way that I learned it when I was younger was try to think from a third person point of view, right? So,
Right.
like, if you're
Yes.
having an interaction with another person, that you have the way that you're feeling and responding in the situation, and it's the idea is the same premise that you're talking about. Is this one is to step into a third person's shoes and look at it from their angle, their perspective
Yeah.
before you respond, right? Step out of the
Right.
situation,
Right.
and again, it goes back to stopping the reptilian brain, which responds on emotion, and think with your higher order, your top level thinking, so that you can think logically, right, before you
Yes.
respond, right? So shift from emotions to logic, and that changes everything. It's the neocortex, is where your creative and intellectual
Right.
thinking takes place. The neocortex are called the modern mind. So very cool, man. Those are great examples of books that people should listen that are listening to should go check out, and we need to add those into the podcast notes for
Yes.
in the description for the YouTube channel, so anybody who's listening can go down in the description and find out what those books names were, so they can click on it and order it through Amazon, right,
Yes.
or your favorite bookstore or Audible or something like that, right? Get access to those books and sharpen your saw, which is one of the 7 habits of highly effective people.
Yes.
So, my third question for you, Sebastian, is who are 3 musicians that you absolutely love right now, and why?
Um, I listen to so much music. It's hard.
Just pick 3 that you love. Who are your go-tos? Who do you
3
like go crazy about?
I love Linkin Park. I love Linkin
Oh
Park.
yeah, love Linkin
So
Park.
that's
Awesome,
my
good.
go-to every day.
Woo, good choice.
Yes.
I'm with you
I
on that one. Who else?
I really love Linkin Park. And who else? Let me see. Let me see. I listen to so much. Just gonna look at my recently played. It's for some reason I've gotten into Dev, the singer Dev,
Oh
the
yeah,
one
I
that's
like her.
from In
I
the
like her
Dark.
music. Yeah, yeah, I know that song. Yeah, that's
So
nice.
I've been listening to more of her music lately. I don't know.
It's
I
like
like the vibe.
electronic
I like
dance
how
music with a little bit of like D and
well,
B, drum and
yes,
bass. Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah, yeah. Okay, that's
So it's
cool.
fun. It's very fun. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's a good vibe. It's a good positive energy. I like her voice. She has a great voice, and
She,
it's a
That's
It's
one of your
connected.
favorites.
I like it. I like it.
Okay, and who else? Give us
Then
one more.
one more, I would say. Let me see. Let me see. I like.
What are you looking at?
So
Pandora?
I'm looking at my Apple Music
Oh,
playlist.
okay. Apple Music. Okay, I listen to Pandora,
Oh, you listen to Pandora? I have Pandora too. So when I want to listen to random songs, I put Pandora on, so I
but you
can
have
listen to new
playlists.
songs too. So it'll also give me some new stuff. And
Okay.
then I like to listen to the Apple Music for whenever I just want to listen to my songs. So I
Okay,
have
that's cool.
it around. But
Who else?
man, that's basically Linkin Park. That's basically it right
And
now.
Dev. Okay, okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
We'll hold it. To,
yeah.
we'll go with two then. Okay. So before we wrap up, we got about 9 more minutes left for before the end of the show. One thing that I want to give to our audience is a skill, like an action step that they could take, a business skill to help them as entrepreneurs. And so what I did was I looked online and I found this from Harvard Business School. You can download this and I'll put a link in it in the show description on YouTube. And it's called "So You Want to Be an Entrepreneur: How to Get Started." And in here, there's 11 entrepreneurship essential skills that you need to have, right? And it starts with characteristics of an entrepreneur, and then after the characteristics, then it goes into the 11 skills. So we'll start with the characteristics of a successful entrepreneur. One characteristic of entrepreneurs is that they have curiosity, right?
Right.
You are, let me read it. Successful entrepreneurs have a sense of curiosity that leads them to continuously seek new opportunities. Rather than settling for what they think they know, curious entrepreneurs ask challenging questions and explore different avenues. Without a drive to consistently ask questions and challenge the status quo, valuable discoveries can be overlooked. So the way that we innovate is by being curious. And
Right.
innovation is the key to set you apart as an entrepreneur. You're competing in the marketplace with other people that are bringing to the market the same stuff that you're offering. And so one thing is, how do you differentiate yourself? That's one key question for
Right.
an entrepreneurship is when you're offering your product or service, how are you going to differentiate yourself from your competition? How is your service better or how is your product better than what the competition has? Right?
Exactly.
And the way that you come up with a better product or a service is by being creative, by being innovative, and thinking
Yes.
of a way to offer it that's different than everybody else, that adds value to the customer, right? To your client.
Yeah, kind of like putting our own sense of our flair into it, our own
A
something that's
hundred
unique
percent.
about us, adding our own personal touch to it, making it more personal.
Yes, and but it has to be not only your personal touch because that's valuable. That's part of the component, right? That's part of the machine that makes it work. But the other part of it is how is it going to add value to the client, right?
Yes, exactly.
Right. So when you start looking and imagining, like, okay, this is good, but I think it can be done better, and then that
Right. Yeah.
that
How can you make
better,
it easier for them? How can you make their life? How can I provide a better service to beat my competition?
right,
How
right.
can
So
I make
like,
it easier? How can I make the whole process, the whole
yeah.
product, how can I innovate it and make it
Mhm.
easier for the client? And you want to beat their price too. You want to have the best price
Yeah, and some that's okay. That's one
in certain
strategy is
aspects.
you can be competitive on price of like, oh man, this is too expensive, I can make it cheaper.
Right.
Or it can be some people are willing to pay higher dollars if it's a better quality because maybe
Right.
maybe that
Exactly.
thing breaks all the time. They're like, you know what, man, I just need a product that doesn't break, you know? So you can fit that
Yes.
void for different people and but
So
the point
whatever
is to
fits. Yes,
whatever
exactly.
fits your audience, who you're going
Right.
for, and bring it to the market, right? Be creative, think of a better way to help solve a problem. Find a problem and solve a
Right.
problem, right?
Solve it. Solve it.
And the way to do that is start by being curious, ask questions, right?
Yeah.
How can I do this better? What would people appreciate more? So that is the key takeaway. That's the lesson that we're gonna stop with that key lesson for entrepreneurship. Be curious, ask questions, right? Look for
Yes.
new ways, new avenues to bring your product
Thinking
or your
outside the
service to your
box.
audience. Think outside the box.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Right? Be innovative.
Right.
Be avant-garde. I love being avant-garde. That's awesome. So that's it, man. We've got 5 minutes left and we're gonna wrap up. And before we go, I'm gonna ask you one of our closing questions, Sebastian.
All right.
And the closing question that I have for you is, where can our listeners find you and connect with you online?
Oh, so I am on Instagram. It's Sebastian Tanner underscore. So first name, last name, like you see. You can see my name right there. It's
Uh-huh.
Sebastian Tanner underscore, and for right now, that's what I have for my personal. I have my business Instagram, Don Canna, DonCanna underscore. So you guys can check both of those out and see what I'm doing with that. And my personal right now is just on Instagram. I'm going to expand more and get Twitter and Facebook and whatever else I need as I go on. But for right now, the Instagram is how you can connect with me personally, and it shows my lifestyle. And I want to get more active on the Instagram so people can see more about me and see have a better feed. Have more content on there. I want to start producing more content.
And adding value to people, right?
Exactly.
Bringing the physical, the mental, and the spiritual wellness to people so they can live better versions of themselves, right?
Exactly.
Outstanding. Are you on Facebook as well, Sebastian?
I have a Facebook. It's like under construction. I don't use it anymore, so I'm gonna
Oh,
have
okay.
to make
Make a
something
business
new.
page.
Make a new. Yes, exactly. So I'll be making a new Facebook uh, soon,
Okay.
ASAP. But for the moment, it is my personal is just on Instagram.
Very cool. Okay. And how far along are you? You just started your new personal training certification. Is that a national certification?
It's nationally accepted. It's actually I think it's worldwide. So even if I
Oh,
leave the
wow.
U.S. and I want to be a trainer somewhere else, it's
Hmm.
accepted everywhere.
Well, that's great because I plan on buying some vacation properties in France. So you'll be able to do some personal training over there. You don't have to say, oui, oui.
Exactly.
Merci
Exactly.
beaucoup. Enchanté.
Oui, oui.
Oui, oui. Don't say Pepe Le Pew. All right, man. That's great. Well, man, this has been fun. We had a little bit of a hiccup, but that's the way things go, right? Like it's
And, hold on real quick, I just thought of something. So, you
uh-huh.
said to do the training while we're in vacation in France, so instead of a vacation, we'll call it a paycation.
I
We'll
want a
get
lot of
paid.
those.
We'll go
Sign
out
me.
there and we'll get paid to go have a good time.
Yeah, sign me up. I want to be a part of that.
Uh,
Can I just stay on vacation every day?
I know, right?
Right? Why not? 24/7, 365, baby.
That'd be nice.
That's a
Spend
beautiful
a cheat
thing.
code somewhere.
All right. Well, besides the hiccups, we apologize for those little hiccups in the beginning, but that's what happens. But this was so fun. This was just our premiere episode of the Entrefluential Life. And I expect that we're going to have so many great things to come. This was really fantastic. Sebastian, thank you for being an awesome co host. And say that because you're really intelligent and because you're my son.
Thank you. It's been fun. It's been very fun.
All
And
right. I'll talk to you in the after show. Okay.
all right,
All right. Bye, guys. Thank you so much.
right. Bye bye.
Any final thoughts? Any final notes for everybody before we go?
Well, we'll just. I don't want to make any promises, but hopefully the next show we won't have any technical difficulties. So
Yeah.
we're gonna work on that. So I'll leave off with that. I'll
Cool.
try to improve
Eh,
anything over on my side and make sure that we have a good session the next time.
Awesome. That's a good goal. All right. And everybody has to have goals here, right? So
Yes,
cool. All right,
I want to learn how to
entrefluencers.
be a better podcaster.
Yeah, me too. That's on my top of my list right now, too. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next Tuesday on the
All right.
Entrefluential Life. Take care. Peace.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.